Hey, good morning, everyone. Brian Hoops here, Midwest Market Solutions. This is Market Insider TV. This is our opening commentary, and it is Friday, November the 29th, last trading day of the month. And hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We've been off for one whole day. It seems like a long time, and doesn't seem like today should be Friday, where we go into the weekend and then have another day off. So hope you did have a great Thanksgiving. We're coming back to see prices here. We'll talk about that this morning, where we expect things to go. I'll be on RFD TV this morning at 8:15 talking about the markets and what we can expect as far as opening calls. Hope you have a chance to tune in for that. There has been some electronic trade on Thanksgiving and last night, such as crude oil, which is trading a little bit higher here. Pretty much within the range of what we saw on Wednesday, though. Stock market is a little bit firmer. The dollar is a little bit softer. These markets are actually trading, gold and silver trading as well. We're seeing a bounce there. And because it's a Thanksgiving and then a Friday that's an abbreviated session it's very, very low volume type trade. So you can see some big moves, like silver here is having a pretty large move. Gold, not quite a big, but 2% move there. Natural gas, 3%. These are all exaggerated moves because of the lower type volume. So we have the dollar a little bit softer here this morning. That's also a market that's trading. So let's get into it. We don't have any overnight grains to talk about. We'll talk about opening calls for those here in just a second. So let's get into our presentation. Take a look at what we expect. I've been sending out information on our Twitter feed, Brian Hoops, Midwest Markets, and our text message service already this morning. So hopefully you receive some of that. If not, make sure you sign up to receive that. So forecast in South America, the 1 to 5 days a little bit drier in northern Argentina and in Mato Grosso, but the 11-15 day does turn wetter again for central Argentina and for southern Brazil. So this is not a real bad forecast, but maybe get a little short covering because that's what we saw on Wednesday. A lot of times we'll see the similar action or the mirrored action on Wednesday into Friday, but it was a little bit higher prices, not a significant move or anything like that, of about 5 cents moves. We did have deliveries, so we talked about this to Wednesday night. We'd see posting of deliveries, and against December contracts, 776 meal were posted, 0 bean oil, and only 111 corn. So pretty minimal corn there. 105 Kansas City wheat, but 0 Chicago wheat, 0 oats. The biggest is the meal, of course, and might be a little bit affected. So when you have heavier deliveries, usually that's a little bit bearish. When you have light deliveries or no deliveries, that is a little bit friendlier from a general standpoint. We had weekly export sales, and that was released this morning because of the holiday yesterday. Soybeans hit a marking year high, 91.7 million bushels. China was the biggest buyer of U.S. soybeans. They bought 39.9 million bushels of U.S. soybeans last week, including 11 million that was switched from an unknown destination to account for that nearly 92 million bushels. So very strong soybean export number there. For corn, it was 41.8, and that included Mexico being the biggest buyer at 16 million bushels of U.S. corn. And wheat, we saw buyers purchase 13.5 million bushels of wheat overall. So, the wheat's in there where it has been here recently and probably won't really change much. I think the USDA probably has our wheat exports pegged pretty closely already. Now that we're a third of the marking year into it, not outstanding wheat sales. Corn sales have been very good, and soybeans, as I mentioned, marking year highs, very strong numbers this week. Beef sales were only 4.8 million tons. That's a marking year low. Shipments came in at 14.5, and pork was 17.2. Shipments were 17.5. Needless to say, beef sales very much a disappointment. Very poor number there last week. So both grain and livestock markets have a cold opening this morning at 8:30. Markets will close early at 12:05. And a lot of the big trade institutions will just take today off, kind of give everybody a break and not to do any trading today. So you can get some big moves, but you have to be careful as they can go against you pretty quickly. There is a tendency for grains to repeat the day before Thanksgiving activity with similar price action following Thanksgiving. So that would mean corn, soybeans a little bit higher. So because we have no overnight trade, we'll give you opening calls, and I would say steady to better here in the grains across the board, with the dollar being a little softer and the strong export numbers, maybe a little bit drier trends in northern Argentina and Brazil, we're going to see probably 2-3 higher soybean opening, 1-2 better corn, steady wheat, and in the livestock, the cash cattle trade. That's next presentation there. Cash cattle trade much higher than what was expected and better. This concluded Wednesday after the futures that closed. So we're going to play a little catch up this morning. I'd say December opens at least 50 higher, maybe more. After this very strong trade that we saw. Cash trade in the north, 190 live, 295 dressed, $2 firmer live, and $5 higher dressed compared to last week. And in the south, we're 190 live, $2 to $4 higher than the prior week. That 190 is a surprise to the trade that was dialing in about 188. So we have a lot of catching up to do. I wouldn't be surprised to see triple-digit gains in the cattle market this morning. Again, it's very light volume. Don't underestimate that we could see 150-point gains in that December contract. Otherwise, we'll pass along any information that becomes available. Have a great day. Good luck, good trading, and we will have a closing comment later this afternoon. So hope you tune into that, and we'll talk to you soon.